When Emily Brooks saw her younger sister Claire walk into the house with that smile, the same sticky, fake smile she'd worn like a mask, she knew it had begun. She stood at the kitchen window, clutching a mug of coffee gone cold and bitter. Outside, rain fell in that dreary autumn hush, tapping on the roof like dead fingers on a coffin lid. And in that moment, Emily felt something inside her crack, not just anger, not her heart, but something deeper. Something she'd believed dead for years. She'd been waiting for this. Preparing. And now that Claire had crossed the threshold of their mother's house, their shared home, the one Claire had tried to steal beneath a veil of tears, Emily finally let herself smile. It was time to repay her. The house at 217 Maple Street sat in a quiet suburb where neighbors still waved in the mornings and kids rode bikes without helmets. To most, it was just another red-tiled house with rose bushes by the porch. But to Emily and Claire, it was everything: childhood, pain, betrayal, and the silent pact they'd both broken on the day of their mother's funeral. Marion Brooks had died in August. Quietly. Peacefully. With a photo of her two daughters on the nightstand and an unfinished book resting on her chest. Everything had seemed proper, dignified, calm, without drama. But the real drama began afterward. The will was simple. The house and savings split equally. But Claire, as always, decided equally meant all mine. She started small, taking their mother's favorite porcelain vase, claiming Emily doesn't even appreciate antiques. Then the silver spoons vanished. The family photo album. Even the turquoise ring their mother had worn for 40 years. Emily said nothing. Not because she didn't notice, but because she was waiting. Because she knew, if you want to punish someone who thinks they're smarter than everyone else, don't shout. Don't argue. Just hand them the rope. And Claire, as always, tied it around her own neck. 30 years earlier, it had all started with an apple pie. Marion baked one every Sunday. The house would fill with the scent of cinnamon, butter, and something indescribable, the smell of safety. Emily, the elder by 3 years, always helped, peeled apples, kneaded dough, arranged the filling. Claire, meanwhile, knew only how to smile and say, "Mommy, can I give you a massage?" Then vanish into her room with friends or the phone. Their mother never noticed. Or refused to. Emily did everything quietly. Because she believed love didn't need proof. It simply was. But one day, the year Emily got into college and Claire threw a tantrum over not getting a new car, their mother said, "You're too serious, Emily. You forget life isn't just about duty. Sometimes, you just need to be light." That was the first time Emily felt she was loved despite herself. Not because of who she was. And Claire? She was loved for the opposite. Now, decades later, Claire stood in the living room of that same house, speaking to Emily in that condescending tone. "You understand I can't let you live here, right? You don't even have a real job. But I cared for Mom in her final months. I earned this." She said it as if Emily hadn't taken unpaid leave from her job as an oncology nurse to sit by their mother's bedside while Claire accidentally missed visits due to urgent PR deadlines. "Of course, Claire," Emily said softly, meeting her sister's eyes. "I understand." And she truly did. She understood everything. The next day, Emily filed a legal motion. Not over the inheritance. Not over the house. But for access to their mother's private papers, letters, diaries, notes. Claire laughed when she heard. "You're serious? You want to read her old scribbles?" "God, Emily, you've turned into a paranoid." But beneath her laughter, panic trembled. Because Claire knew, their mother wrote everything. Emily found the box in the basement, hidden behind an old cabinet of winter blankets. Inside a worn cardboard folder labeled, "For my girl's eyes. When the time comes, lay not just memories, but the truth." Her mother had written weekly, sometimes daily. Today Claire said Emily is too hard on her. But it's not harshness. It's care. Claire doesn't know the difference. She confuses care with control. Claire claims I give Emily more attention. But how do I explain that Emily is the one who stays when everyone else leaves? Today Emily brought me soup when my stomach ached. Claire sent flowers and the delivery invoice. I don't know which is worse, indifference or performance. I fear Claire will never understand that love isn't what you say, it's what you do when no one's watching. The final entry was dated 3 days before her death. If you're reading this, I'm gone. And please don't let Claire take everything. Not out of greed, but because she'll never grasp the value of this home. She sees only property. But Emily sees us. Let her decide what becomes of it. This is my final choice. And my final love. Emily wept. For the first time in years, truly. Not from rage. Not from grief. But from relief. Her mother had seen. And all this time, she had believed. The court date came 3 weeks later. Claire arrived in a boutique suit, flawless makeup, and a lawyer who cost 3 months' salary. She was certain of victory. You won't win, she told Emily outside the courtroom. You have no evidence. Just feelings. And feelings have no legal power. Emily said nothing. She simply handed an envelope to the judge. Inside, a handwritten addendum to Marion Brooks's will, notarized 1 month before her death. And the entire diary folder. The judge read in silence. Then looked up at Claire and said, Ms. Brooks, your mother left clear instructions. The house and all assets are to be transferred solely to Emily Brooks. Claire turned pale. But that's impossible. She couldn't have. She could, Emily said softly. She just saw. A month later, Claire vanished from town. Rumor said she'd moved to another state. No calls. No letters. Emily stayed in the house on Maple Street. She renovated the kitchen, planted new roses, and every Sunday baked an apple pie, using her mother's recipe. Sometimes, in the evenings, she'd sit on the porch with a cup of tea, watching the sunset paint the sky gold and crimson. And in those moments, there was no anger, no vengeance, only peace. Because true revenge isn't destruction. It's restoration. Restoring justice. Restoring memory. Restoring the love someone tried to steal. And Claire? She got exactly what she deserved. Emptiness. Because a home you can't love isn't a home at all. Just bricks and walls where echoes scream alone.